All right, I am back after a brief hiatus. I was away Saturday into yesterday, so we're back at work in the garage. I'm working on the bottom. Just so you, since the last time we've been together, taking it out of the clamp, it's all glued up. I've planed all the edges, just so that way everything here is nice and flush and smooth. And I still have some work to do to take out the tear out. I'm experimenting with a new light, so I'm hoping that that works out somewhat better. So I do have to come in here and clean up a little bit more. I'll sand the outside so that way I can see where the tear out has come. I put my spacing block in there just to make sure that the bottom matches the top, and that'll make sure that when I make the drawer, that'll slide in, because once this is glued onto the bottom, they will not compress any longer. So that is there just to make sure. I know the box is square, but just to make sure that this stays parallel to the top, so the drawer will slide in and out. And if it's not perfectly square, it will still work, as I can compensate on the box. And I'm not gonna glue the bottom on just yet, because I do have to clean the outside. And once you have the bottom glued to the outside, you can't get the plane on there, and so it's a lot easier to do it in this form than in this form. But what we're doing now, we've got the panel glued up. It is now, I've measured it. It ends up being 6 inches, or just under 6 inches, which is the perfect width for it. Gives me about a 3/8 overhang on each side, which I do want to be consistent all around. All right, so what we do have to determine, to have it all marked out. Can that even be seen on the camera? It says front. I've got my triangle, so I know which one. I know that this is the piece. And it's a little weird because it's the bottom, so the show face is going to go on the bottom, which is good, because the inside, when I was cutting this piece down, we got there's some tear out all in here that I'm still going to. I'm going to take some of that out, make it look better, but it doesn't much matter, because that's going to be, it's going to, hold on. Okay. Yep, it's going to be in this orientation, so that tear out that was just front and center is going to be buried on the inside of the box underneath a drawer that'll never be seen again, but I'm going to know it's there, so I'm going to do something to take care of it. And right now it's in its approximate position, but you'll notice too much on this side. So what I did so far, I got these two edges are parallel to each other. The width is consistent, so that way I have my 3/8 of an inch overhang. I squared off this edge here, so this is, so it's actually square, and I can we'll put that a little mark on there, so that way I know that this corner is square. Got to figure out how much to cut off of here, which is fine, because the same thing that happened in here also happened here. So when I was sawing, because this board and this board, they were the same board at one point, and I sawed down it, and somewhere the saw floated through, and I got this the section where the saw went into one of the sides too much. I don't want to make this any thinner, so I'll just work on those specific areas, but that's going to get cut off anyway, so I don't really have to worry too much about that. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to eyeball it. Again, I'm going to make sure that I have it in the right orientation. There we go. So it's going to go like that. I'm going to turn it around for my ease. So it's going to go like this. It won't look as clunky, because I'm going to round the edges, and I'll show you that. I'll do that on camera. But I'm going to get it approximate. And I've got this it's an adjustable square, and I have it set to the distance I want, and I took some time to get this right. So right now it's going around the box, and so that's even. Now you can't see, I'm just going to do the same thing on the back, and if you can see, I just nudged it forward a little bit, and this side we're going to bring back. All right, but now I'm going to go through and recheck myself, because when I moved it forward, it may have shifted side to side. And we're going to be, Stacy, notice that shifted a little bit. I got Finn is now in the garage. He may jump up. Okay, so I am happy with the way the three sides are now. They are all where I want them. So I'm going to carefully, and I can't use this same tool again because it's not going to get there. So what I'm going to do is just take a regular ruler, and I've already done this, so I know where it ends up. But I'm going to just to cross-reference myself, I know where I want it to end up on here. I'm going to take a knife because a pencil just won't be good enough for this. I'm going to very lightly nudge this against there. And you know what? I'm falling right into a bad spot. So we're going to move that down. And I'm going to mark it on the 3/8 mark. I'm going to give it a little, make it a little heavy because I can always take more off. So right now, I have got a very small knife mark, and let's see, got a very small knife mark right in there that I'm going to use, and I'm going to use the same edges for reference. So that's this edge. For the marking, I do prefer the marking knife that is not in my general vicinity. There it is. Okay, that's the one I was looking for. So I'm going to take the knife, I'm going to put it right in the mark that I had made and slide the square up to it. Make sure the beam stays tight there, and I'm going to score it with a very light line, and then I'm going to score with a little heavier line, and then we're going to go fairly heavy. That then becomes my cut line, and Finn is now on the table with me, and there he is. Say hello to Finn, everybody. He's a big boy. He's a good boy. He's my indoor-outdoor cat. And he's very happy to have my oldest daughter back home. That's his human. But for now, we are going to get this big belly. Yeah, he's not too happy about being picked up. But yeah, Finn. Okay. And I'm going to actually register this on what I have as the front, which is actually the bottom. And I'm going to put my knife right in that mark I made, slide the square over. Again, very light, a little heavier, a little heavier. Gotta do the same thing from this direction. And if this board was a little bit, if it was shaped like this, I probably wouldn't put it in the vise. But in this particular case, because of this shape of it, it's just so much easier for me to have the vise as my third hand holding this up. And again, I'm working off of this edge. Now, hopefully, theoretically, if I did all of that right, that's in that edge, and we're a little very light mark, and that's on the line. That is very, very, very close. It's not, I wouldn't call it perfect, but definitely good enough for what I'm working on. And I'm going to give a little bit more effort, a little extra push down here, because as I get down to this side, it can pivot the square. And I'm going to put a little bit of extra, there we go, extra oomph into it. So yeah, actually that came out pretty good. All the lines match up. So what I'll do next, I'm going to end up just cross-cutting, which means I'm going across the grain. I'm going to cross-cut along that line. I'll plane down to it, and then the bottom piece will be to the right size. Not ready to be glued on yet. Like I said, I'm going to fix the imperfections. We're going to round the edges, which once again has to be done before it gets glued onto the box, because I need to get over to both sides of the board, and if it's on here, I can get to one side, but I can't get to the other. So all this has to be done before being glued up, but that is how we we get the size of the bottom, and the top will be similar. The top's going to be a little bit of a different construction, but that is how the bottom will ultimately be made. And right now it is sized. Well, that close to being sized. Stick around, I'm trying to say I don't know what I'm going to do next, whether cleaning up the outside of the box or if I'm going to do the roundovers, which I will show because that's pretty cool. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.